Dobro vam jutro još jednom, nadam se da ste se uspjeli ipak malo naspavati i da ste spremni za novu rundu predavanja danas, posljednji dan, treba to sve izdržati, a zato mi je velika čast da danas počinjemo sa jednim ovakvim govornikom, Walter Susini stariji, Talijan sa stalnom adresom u Londonu, već 20 godina živi tamo, radio je za brojne korporacije, ali danas je ovdje u ulozi potpredsjednika za marketing Coca-Cola i to zadužen za Europu, Middle East i Afriku. Naslov današnjeg predavanja vjerojatno ste pročitali, on je A good business is good for the business. Pa evo što Walter Susini zapravo kaže. Stvarnost ovog novog svijeta je da je etika postala nova društvena valuta, a održivost naš društveni kapital. Ljudi diljem svijeta vjeruju robnim markama više nego institucijama i korporacijama. E pa baš zato moramo biti svjesni te odgovornosti i prilike. Walter Susini će nam reći nekoliko jednostavnih pravila o tome kako se preseliti iz korporativne društvene odgovornosti u relevantne svrhe robnih marki, jer činjenje dobrih dijela je također i trebalo bi biti dobro za poslovanje. Molim vas, pozdravite velikim pljeskom Waltera Susinija, potpredsjednika za marketing Coca-Cola.
Dobro jutro. I just understood Walter Susini 5 times. London East, that I guess you said I live in London. That's it. Morning. Thanks for having me here. You should say also buongiorno in Rovigno. Sorry for being here at 10 o'clock in the morning. I know it's tough. I was in the party last night, but I was good enough to go bed at midnight, so maybe some of you stay until 4 o'clock in the morning. If I let you sleep, I promise to talk slow so you don't wake up. So, good business is good for the business. I think this is a passion of mine, and I've been preaching this for many, many years, and I guess my story goes from Unilever to Coca-Cola, back to Coca-Cola. So I've been in big corporations that have been, this at the heart of many of the discussions. And probably you are here in these 2 days, 3 days, 4 days of parties, also listening to a lot of very cool and fancy things. The world is changing, this is some of the trend topics when you write down, comms, media, and marketing on Google. You have this stuff, They talk about all this cool stuff. And I'm not talking about any of this. I'm probably too old for 50% of this. But I'm talking about something else. And this is what I believe I am. And actually lately has been everywhere on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. There's been a lot of discussion around how the brands should become more activist. And there was a very interesting discussion a few days ago on LinkedIn also. I'm a brand activist. And this is something I really got excited because I'm a brand activist. I've always been a brand activist. So last night when I go back, there was just one thing that didn't sound right to me in the presentation. I said, I need to search what activist means. So I went to, and this is just a Wikipedia sentence on what an activist is, but I think it works well in what I want to talk to you about. Because at the end of the day, a brand activist is all these things that try to improve things in society. And the reason I'm a brand activist is because I believe that brands today, more than ever, they have a mission. I love to work for brands in a mission. I work for brands like Dove, I work for brands like Lifebuoy, I'm working for Coca-Cola, and I love brands that stand for something. And actually, there's never been a better time to stand for something, because this is not just about companies. Because consumers buy brands, they don't buy companies. Or most of the time they buy brands, they don't buy companies. So brands need to do their part in this journey. And it's a tough journey. I mean, actually, you all know this, I don't have to tell you about that. Actually, if I come back next year, I hope the festival will get rid of the straw, the plastic plates, the plastic forks, because we all need to do something on that. We need to be 100% recyclable. You see, you know, the National Geographic is talking about the oceans. The society is getting stressed about many different topics. But we are in a moment that in the next 10, 15 years will be around 10 billion people on this earth. If we don't change the way we consume, the way we interact with each other, the way we react with society is going to be complicated. And technology is helping us in some way, but we need to do our own part. Because actually, more than ever, and this I think is, if I could just use one chart in the entire presentation, this is the chart. So basically, really ethics for the business and for marketing is becoming the new currency. Because on one side, you have the institutions, the government. You have all the data that people don't believe in government anymore. They don't believe in institutions. They are at the lowest rate. A company, people are starting to question if company has the right, approach to people, if they have the right values. And on the other side are like people that says, what's in it for me, what you are giving me, that really help me to make the world a better place. So it's a little bit of a virtuous or vicious cycles where brands are the only piece that is not actively working as I would love to, and as many people would love to. Because, of course, when you talk about sustainability and you talk about purpose, the government are starting to do their part, companies are doing their work, consumers are asking for more things that are more like sustainable, they have a better point of view on life, and brands are not responding enough. So my journey with you today is really telling you what I've been doing to make some point of, I would love to get to the end of the presentation to say how brands can become more purposeful driven. And you will tell me if I get it or not. But why it matters? I don't work for an NGO. I think you guess Coca-Cola is not an NGO yet. Why it matters? It matters for different reasons. And whenever I discuss this, I make this very clear to not sound something that is just a dreamer or something that just, smoked something interesting the night before. Sustainability is the right thing to do. It is the smart things to do. And of course, is the profitable thing to do. So let's clear the skies from what sustainability can do for us. It's good for the business. So when I say good business is good for the business, is really say, if you don't move there, consumer will not follow you. But not only consumer. I mean, we don't talk anymore about the millennials, because millennials are getting older than me, but we are talking about Generation Z, we are talking about new generation that coming on board and says, you know what, I want something different. And we have this issue in the companies. For example, if you get a company that have purpose at the center, you can take any company you want. You probably have some here, but you have Patagonia, you have Natura, you have Body Shop, you have many companies that start with a purpose at the center. They see a 1.4 times more engagement and more satisfied in terms of employees. So if you want new generation working for your company, you need to be purposeful driven or they're not going to work for you. The new guys that are joining my teams in EMEA and in West Europe, they are asking what you are doing for plastic, what you are doing for women, what you are doing for young people, what you are doing for society. If you don't have an answer, they're going to move on. And people out there, and we will talk a little bit more later, 89% of people in Europe declare that they want to buy product that has something to give back to the society, to the environment, to the world. And of course, there is a big return on shareholders. In the Wall Street meetings nowadays, most of the analysts ask, what's your sustainable ambition? What's your purpose? So it's crazy, eh? People that work at JP Morgan, they work at the temple of money, that they only should be thinking about money. They're starting to ask, what's your purposeful ambition? So it's interesting because, as I said, when 1/3 of a consumer really buy brands, they have something to say. This is Europe. Okay? In some other places, it's slightly different. In US, it's changing. But this is Europe. This is us. And it's interesting because, and this is the tricky data that I always put because the detractor always say to me, yeah. Okay, 89% of the people want to buy. And then actually, 84% want to buy, but 60% are buying. Yeah, we know why. Because basically, there is not enough brands help them to make the right choice. So the big brands, the big corporations are not helping enough. And second, we didn't make it affordable. So the new generations of brands, the new generation of effort we need to do is to really make it affordable and make it for everybody. So it's true that only 60% buy effective. But just having 84% of people in Europe that says that I would buy is a big sign because it's almost the opposite of what you could think. You could think, okay, if I'm not sustainable, people will buy someone else. But the point is that if I'm not sustainable, people will stop buying me. That's a very powerful data for all of us that do this job. So 84% of the people probably is not choosing us, but will not buy us. So it's basically the same results. So I think that, and I've been thinking this for many, many years. I've been in this industry for, as you can see from the white bird, for 25 years. And since the beginning, I always thought, and that's the reason I choose to be a marketeer, that brands are part of the solution. If you don't believe that brands are part of the solution, whoever you guys work with brands, and you wake up every morning and you go to work for brands, don't wake up. Change job. Because that's what we should believe, that we are part of the solution. I'm in a company that put out there 4 billion products a year in the market, that whatever I can write on a can, whatever I can write on a bottle has been seen by 4 billion people. That's the power. I can say whatever I want. And better I say something relevant. No? So I just want to take a little bit of time today, and I hope it's going to be useful for some of you. Say how to do that. And this is how I did it. So all the cases, there are millions of good cases around the world. By definitions, when I do this kind of speeches, I only use stuff that I did, or I participate in some way. I don't like to use stuff of other people because always the first question is, so what you did. So all the things, and then we can discuss more, all the things you will see here, it's stuff that I'm being engaged, and I'm very proud to, in some way, be part of that. So of course, the first thing is, we are in a world that you can be unmasked in 30 seconds. if you don't do what you say, if you don't say what you do. 30 seconds. We see companies losing, billions of dollars in the stock exchange for saying something that they didn't do. So many years ago, you could say basically whatever you want. You could celebrate it, some nice social causes, and use it as a Cannes cases. You went to Cannes, you won a big lion of any color you want, you win a titanium, and then at the end was just a case. Today people are saying tell me what you do. So this is what we are forcing everybody and looking at. Really find what is really true in your brand and tell it to people. So it's not about storytelling, it's about story doing. It's about really do what you do. And becoming social icon is different than becomes cultural relevant. Because a social icon are those brands that take a stand on issues that create a little bit of noise. And I want to show you an ad. It's easier to show ads to make the point. Not that ads are less relevant than in the past, but they make the point of, we did this in West Europe this year. And you know all the situations of, very well, the situation of the, immigrants, the refugees, the Muslim war, the tensions, and all these things. And actually, one of the best occasions for Coca-Cola during the year is the Ramadan period. You all know what Ramadan is. There are the days where the Muslim community just fast during the day, and they just eat after the sun set. So we want to have a point of view on this. And so we did this. So this is, as you can imagine, create a lot of discussions, because you touched during the story a lot of prejudice that are happening now in West Europe. We're running in Holland, we're running in France, where the issue is becoming complicated, in Germany. So, and this is only an online initiative. And this has been, of course, a huge welcome on one side and many people criticize on the other. But that's what social icons do. They don't care. They don't care because if you want to be a social icon, not 100% of the people should love you. It's impossible to be loved by everybody. As human being, it's impossible to be loved by everybody. The second thing I want to tell you is that whatever is your brand you're working in, whatever is your client you're working in, is like using the power of the assets. And we do it a lot at Coke. You know, we do it for the parade, we do for many things. The things that happened this summer during the World Cup that I guess you all remember with quite good vibes. I was in the final with my Croatia t-shirt, so you know, the team here knows that. Is that, I don't know if you remember these things. It happened at some point, was Germany, Sweden, and after like 86 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes to the end, this guy, he made a penalty against Germany, and so Germany scored. So Durmaz is the one in the middle. It happens that this guy is Syrian origin. He's born in Sweden, so the same day, he has 3 small kids. His family was menaced by death threats. All the social media were invaded by you are a fucking nigger, fucking Arab, you're the fucking you want. That's it. And there was, you know, a big threat to his personal, his family. So what we did, you know, we have the zero Coke there because we happened to have this guy on the can because was one of the 6 players that we use normally. So we take the calorie off and we put racism and zero racism. What was a movement that we start, and actually millions, 2 or 3 millions of Sweden, like half of the population, were like supporting this. So it's a small thing, but look how much you can do with a can. In a moment that, for just because you cause a penalty, your family gets written, and because you basically, your grandfather or your father comes from the Middle East. And I was saying, you know, more and more you need to find the true in your brand and share it. You know, we are the company, Coca-Cola Company is the company of the secret formula. I still have people today that come to me and says, do you know the secret formula? No, I don't. But that's a myth. And of course, more and more people want to find the truth. And I want to show you a quick video that is, when you find the truth, when you find the real powerful insight, what happened in the world. We did this infographic when I used to work at Dove, because we launched Dove Sketches. I probably don't know if you remember, 4 years ago, we did this. This guy was sketches women, and then the women were describing themselves, and you were, you know, watching the 2 pictures, and you see the difference between 2. We launched this as a very small actions in US, and this is what happened in the first week of after we launched with completely organic at the beginning initiative. So this is the power of how you spread idea. You know, this is an amazing example. There are many, but when you have really a powerful truth and you spread it, you know, people around the world react to this. Of course, when we talk about tough issues, we don't have to be heavy. You know, we don't have to be serious all the time. And I think this is something that we always need to realize as marketeers and as advertising people, that says, you know, really tough issues can be really lighthearted. And I bring you two examples because I think they are putting some interesting question or idea, but they do it in a very, very nice way.
Where are all the ladies? I really liked the Pride Parade scene in the commercial. It was a tip of the hat to my late son, who was gay. He took me to a gay cowboy club one night, and I said, how many sons would invite their fathers to come here? And he responded, how many fathers would actually come? I would be very happy if I felt that there was an increase of tolerance in the world because of that pride scene, even if it's just a little.
So this is a Hollywood actor that we use in some of our commercials in the past that lost his child of AIDS, and he was one of the first to help us to join the movement in the parade. But he was really lighthearted in the way he helped us to do that. And the other example that I love is this other one.
Peekaboo, I see you sitting in the corner looking kinda blue. Don't you try to hide from you know who. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you. Peekaboo, I love you. Better make your mind up that you love me too. 'Cause you're gonna marry you know who. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I love you. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I love you.
So what happened? It's a simple question for a brand that is fighting for it. At the same time, sometimes you need to take the highest possible ground. So don't listen to your lawyer, to the public affairs team. You just need to look at how you can. And sometimes if you want to take a stand, you can talk about life, but sometimes it happens that you talk about death. And this is a brand that I particularly love, that I've done a lot of work in Asia on. Is a soap brand. So it's basically soap to wash hands. And basically we know that actually almost 40% of the kids in some country in Asia don't reach the age of 5 because they die of very stupid disease that have been disappearing in Europe for probably the last 100 years. So the brands embrace this.
என் மகன் வளருகிறான் உள்ளங்களிலே இன்பம் பெருகிட மனதில் நிறைகின்றான் தாயும் தந்தையும் விரும்புவதெல்லாம் ஒன்னேதானுங்க ஐயா ஒன்னேதானுங்க கண்ணுக்கு கண்ணான தான் பெத்த பிள்ளை துள்ளி விளையாடியே மனதை மகிழச் செய்யணுங்க மகிழச் செய்யணுங்க தெய்வம் தந்த செல்வமையா நான் பெற்ற செல்வமையா ஆரோக்கியமும் அறிவும் பெற்று வளர்ந்துட்டானையா மனம் முழுதோமையா மகிழ்ந்தோம் ஐயா இந்த மகிழ்ச்சியின் வேதனை எதுவும் மறந்திடும் ஐயா ஐயா நாளொரு மேனியும் பொழுதொரு வண்ணம் என் மகன் வளருகிறான் உள்ளங்களிலே இன்பம் பெருகிட மனதில் நிறைகின்றான் மனதில் நிறைகின்றான்
मेरा बच्चा 5 साल का हो गया।
इतना सब 5 साल में कौन सी बड़ी बात है?
बड़ी बात है मैडम, ये गुंडापा का पहला बच्चा है जो 5 साल की उम्र तक पहुंचा है।
क्या?
So the brands start to adopt villages all around India and Southeast Asia. So when you adopt a village and you take a pledge like this, there are going to be many kids that are going to die during your pledge. So you need to be very bold and brave to do something like that. But sometimes you need to drive behavior change. As I was saying about the straw before, I mean, not all people are equal, not all consumers are equal. So they need to understand, but sometimes we need to make them easy for them, and we need also to make rewarding. So what's in it for me is very important before it becomes an habit. Then when it becomes an habit, you don't have even to tell people anymore what they have to do and what would be good to do, but it's important that you realize that the cycle, this is the psychological cycle of how behavior change. And so this is exactly this. You need to make it understand. People need to understand this is a serious problem. You need to make easy for them. You need to make it reward before it becomes an habit. And for example, for recycling, believe it or not, and I know this is one of the few virtuous countries on the deposit system. In many countries around the world, the amount of people that really recycle their plastic bottle is very, very small.
The first time we met, you had your top off straight away.
It was mutual.
It was going so well.
It was,
until you bottled it.
Recycling gave us a second chance.
I'd say recycling gave you many chances.
But no matter how much we changed, our love remained the same.
After enjoying our drinks, please recycle.
So sometimes it's simply a simple message like this to tell people you have to do it. Sometimes you need to make reward. The last thing I want to share with you is another small, great idea that we had looking at what was happening in society. And you probably know, and if you don't know, it probably will be surprising. In Saudi Arabia, women has been allowed to drive only 6 months ago, 1 year ago. So they were not allowed to drive. And the Coca-Cola company has been one of the companies that was more active in pushing this agenda. And actually, when the law has been approved, we came up with an idea that has been doing the round of the world. And this is, I took in a piece of what happened in US around this idea in a TV news.
Celebrates the landmark decision in Saudi Arabia to let women drive cars, and a feminist rapper wrapping her hijab to the top of the Billboard charts. So we are here with music journalist Yvonne Saba. Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
I love this. I love this. I was watching this commercial.
It's so exciting.
And at Coca-Cola, change has a taste.
Yeah.
Amazing. Tell us about it.
It's a great thing. So not long after the decree, it almost felt like it was a hoax or something. Finally, the ban is lifted from women driving in Saudi Arabia.
Now, has this been a ban like throughout history?
It's been a while.
It's
been a while. I think it's been a few years, and just recently, in the last few years, artists have come out and protested. They've released videos against this ban. They've done so much to kind of cancel it, and it's a victory.
From driving, and we're better drivers. We're better drivers.
There have been so many music videos and parodies and so much done to kind of show how ridiculous this ban is. And now it's finally, it's gone. We don't have to deal with it anymore in Saudi.
Let's take a look at this commercial. It's great. Shukran ya Baba.
So the American never get it. She was just worried that women drive better than men, but it's okay. The issue was a little bit deeper than that. But that create a lot of debate and a lot of problems for us in the Middle East. So I just want to close because I want to leave some space for question. I don't have the watch, but I think I'm good. This is how you build purposeful brands. Both in the social and sustainability, we need to push more the sustainability angle. But my message to you is really, don't be afraid to piss someone. If you are an iconic brand that want to have a point of view on society, on the environmental issues, you will piss someone off. You need to become a social icon, so people need to spread your idea and share your idea. You need to find the truth instead of create a myth. You need to take the highest bet sometimes. So you will see that you saw in my presentation that most of the stories are social things. And this is where us marketeers need to make a little bit of knowledge that we could be better in tackling sustainable issue, not just social one. So one of the work that I've been doing in the last few months is really bringing the sustainable agenda at the center of the brands, because we are all very good to drive social cause. When we get to most important sustainable cause, we still have a long way to go. We need to encourage meaningful way of living. So we need to share with people what we think they are like the virtuous way of living. We need to walk the talk. So whatever you say, we need to put money to do what we say. And that's what we have been doing year after year, both at Unilever and at Coke. Help driving behavior change. So don't forget that people sometimes need help to understand. We need to make it easy for them. We need to make it a reward. We need to create social debate. In today's world, if people don't care, they don't share. I was joking last night in a restaurant, I need to take a picture of the dinner, because if I don't put it in my Instagram, this dinner didn't exist. And that's exactly what happened also for brands. If you don't create debates, you don't exist. And be honest when you don't have all the answer. And actually, as a big corporation, maybe it's so easy to criticize big company But again, it's easy to criticize big company, big brands, but you really need to believe that we are part of the solution. Because if you really believe we are part of the problems, I think you are in the wrong job. And the last point is, small causes have small impact. Okay? So try to look for big things. Try to move the global agenda. There are so many big issues that needs to be solved that it's something that is very important. Sometimes we tend to fall in love with small things. We need to drive big things that have big impact. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I'm happy to answer to any question if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you for help. So I will be the help for the questions. So guys, I hope you have some nice questions after this great lecture. So I will open then with the questions. So Walter, what do you think when we talk about the virtues? You and me, we don't share the same virtues probably. Or maybe we do, but we don't know that. Who will be the judge when you say the companies should share the virtues? Don't be afraid to piss somebody off. But different virtues in different part of the world, in different mankind, in different people share different virtues. Who will be the judge who will say, my virtue is the one that this company will share when you are Coca-Cola or somebody as big as you are?
Yeah, it's a good point. I think that when you have deep human truth, like the one that, objectively 4% of women feel they are beautiful today in the world. This is research data. So when women watch themselves at the mirror, only 4% says, I'm beautiful, And this is something that it goes deep in what's the biggest human truth you can find related to your brand. So if you sell a brand that is all about optimism, like Coke, you need to try to find what's the big insight around optimism. If you are a brand that sells face care product, you need to talk about beauty. So it needs to be related to what you do, but it needs to go very deep in one of the really big human truths. And that's the reason I always share the video of Dove, is that it's exactly in the moment you find the right human truth, it goes around the world. No matter if you live in India, China, Croatia, or Brazil, they all get the same message. So at the end of the day, we are more the same than we think, or we are absolutely reacting more in the same way that we think. So for me, each brand should look at the brand and says, okay, I have a product truth. Whatever is your product truth, what is your reason people should buy your product? And then you say, because I have this product truth, what's my human truth? What's the human truth related to this product that really will make me relevant to people? And basically, when you cross your product truth and your human truth, you get to a purpose that should be at least shareable and recognizable by everybody. That's why I always laugh whenever they say, no, but we are different. And I say, look, there is nothing more different than women's skins and women's beauty for how women perceive themselves. Actually, when you tap to the insight that the way you see yourself is very different from where the others see you, everybody reacts. So I think that we are very lazy sometimes and find very superficial truth.
And what are the topics that you would never go in? Maybe religion, or as a marketing director that you wouldn't? Or something, I don't know, something else maybe.
My public affairs team will say never religion, never politics, never these things.
Yes.
But you get very close. I mean, when you touch Ramadan, you are going to religion.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But the point is that it's not what you touch, but why you touch it. If you touch it to say that at the end we are all more or less the same, you are not making a political speech. You are making, hopefully, a human statement. If you take positions like, I mean, if Coca-Cola comes out tomorrow and says, we disagree with Donald Trump,
Yeah.
I don't think it's the right thing to do, because we shouldn't be going in this place.
Why not?
Because you know, like, this is a very clear political position that you have. You don't have. It's not related to what you want. It's not related to what you sell. It's simply a political statement. We need to keep saying, if Donald Trump says that we are not equal, as we said, we made a statement, says, no, we are. So we are happy to go against any political point of view that challenge our view of the world. But I don't think we should be, any brand should be doing political activist actions, because that's not the role of the brands. The role of the brand is transmit values that eventually goes against some political view of the world. There are people that don't believe we are all the same. So.
Okay. Okay. Yes?
Nebojša Sobanović, portal Meteoinfo.hr. I don't have actually a question, I have more comment.
Please.
Yes. Some eminent economical experts claim that there are only two brands in the world. Two brands. One is Harley-Davidson and the second is Coca-Cola. All others are companies, products, international companies, but only two real brands in the world. A long time I couldn't realize the meaning of that, but now I do. The people who drink Coca-Cola will never substitute it with Pepsi-Cola, and people who drive Harley-Davidson will never substitute it with Moto Guzzi. What do you think about that? I want to hear your opinion.
So it's a question. I was relaxed that you were making just a comment. I wish it was true. Many people today are switching more and more than in the past. And I think that people are switching more and more compared to the past exactly for this reason, because we are not giving them enough reason to believe that they shouldn't switch us. When you become wallpaper, like we have been through the years many times, you become wallpaper, with the new generation, maybe not with the two of us, with the new generation, if you don't have a clear point of view, they're going to switch you. You're going to go away very soon. So for our generation, maybe we will never switch. I hope you are like me. I will never switch from Coke to Pepsi. And probably I will never switch from Harley-Davidson to Guzzi. Guzzi, there is a little bit of an Italian thing there. But maybe I choose Honda or Suzuki. But the new generation do it all the time. They go, they come back, because they say, what you stands for? What you stands for? You just stand for something that I drink. At the end, you are a fizzy, dark water. So that's what's in it for me. I mean, you taste better than anything else is not enough. So my point of view is that we need to keep working in giving people a reason to believe in our brands. And unfortunately, that's why I said I wish it was true, more and more people are leaving any of the big iconic brands because they are not giving them enough reason to believe. So we need to work hard on that. And sometimes we don't. And many brands are not. And then they're surprised, oh, I have the best taste, I have the best shoes. Look what Nike did last week. You all saw that. I don't even put it in the example because it was even too banal. The only number I want to give you with that Nike stuff that they did last week, their online sales increased 30%.
Increase?
Increased 30%. That's absolutely crazy.
You have Nikes too.
I only wear Nike. But 30%. So, and actually what was even better was not the ad and says, you know, these guys lose everything. is the answer to people that was burning Nike shoes. They put an ad when they were explaining how to burn things. If you want to burn our shoes, please stay 2 meters away, do it outside your house. This is a freaking, sorry the word, iconic brand. When they say to people that, I don't care if you burn me, I don't care if you put fire on my product, do it in a safe way. It's really saying, I really have convictions of who I am and what I do, and I don't care what you think. You want to burn, burn it.
Good morning.
Morning.
Actually, I have 2 questions, if it's okay.
Well,
and the first one...
If they don't throw me away, I can stay here all morning.
The thing that you mentioned about the Nike, that's the story that, is going around for so many years. I mean, what's the really approach of this and ethic when we talk about Nike, And do you think that they are fully ethical if you have one side, okay, they have the good commercials fighting for some cause, and on the other hand, a lot of, stories about how they produce their products. And this is just one case. For sure, you have some other companies. So, is this fully ethical company? That's one question. And the second question, there is always a discussion whether this kind of CSR, if we can call it CSR, or some purpose-driven activities, what's the difference, and what's the key thing that makes people really believe that this is true story, that you, as you say, the real true purpose, and not just a promotion which is used to more sell and get the higher revenue?
Very, very, very good questions. Both very good questions. It takes a lot of time to answer. I will try to do very quick. If you ask me if I am an ethical man, I still have some things hidden in my drawing boards that don't make me 100% an ethical man. This is the nature of human being. I think we all are, brands are, companies are. So to answer to your question, is Nike an ethical company? I've never worked there, so my answer should be I don't know. But I know what they do in commercial, and I know who's doing the bowls in Asia and all these things. But this goes back to one of the points there is, as company, you should have what I call shield. There are the stuff that protect you. And then you have to have sword. That is how you attack, okay? That's reality of battles, of wars. So you have shield and you have sword. The point of shield is that you really need to have your house in order before attack. So you have to have a strong shield. That's why more and more, that's why the difference between what the brands does and what the corporation does, that should match. They need to get together. So what you do is what you say is what you do. So more and more, that's why I said you take 5 seconds to discover that the bowls are made in Vietnam with 12 years old kids. They are changing that because basically they put it in a supply chain that they didn't have any control. Apple is the same. There are many companies that are the same. So we all know, and that's why we have so many people working on that as a company, you need to be as best as you can in this best practice. And then you move to the brands, and the brand can say stuff. The Coca-Cola company has been very, very careful to do the right thing before saying what they are doing. Actually, I would say, and coming back to Coke after so many years that I've been working in other companies, I would say that we are sometimes even too careful in saying what we do because we want to be sure that what we do is the right thing to do. So you are totally right. You need to do the right thing, and then you need to say the right thing. It's in the human nature. So I think it's a journey, and that's why the point also, be honest when you don't have all the answers, is very much there. On the second questions, how can I say that? I think that there is a lot of Wow, there are old people coming from the next one. I got confused. There is a lot of discussion on this, and I think that I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer.
Maybe it doesn't matter, if I can interrupt.
Maybe. But why you think I'm asking you now?
I don't know, I'm just thinking if it's a good cause, it doesn't matter is it PR or marketing, or it's just, or it's real thinking of the company.
Yeah, but it's true, but that's why, I mean, we are trying to match the two. Because cynicism, especially in Europe, is growing a lot. I mean, actually, in West Europe, people are very cynical in saying this is just a marketing action. Yeah. So that's why I'm torn in the answer, because I don't know. It's probably doesn't matter. But for me, if we can really do the two together and marry the two together, is the best possible solution. So that's the way I would say that.
Yes?
I'm deaf and old, but I will try.
Mike, maybe, in the third row. Oh, it's coming.
Thank you for this inspiring lecture or presentation. It's really amazing to hear that companies big as Coca-Cola and so on are thinking about purpose and deep human truth. My question is, do you think that the time will come when profit and loss statements are going to reflect true cost? When I say true cost, I mean, at the moment, okay, we have revenue, we have our costs, expenses, and so on. Will the time come when the company are going to put in, you know, the damage that we do for environment, the water, pollution, and so on and so on? Or is that, in your opinion, still too idealistic wish?
Not at all. I mean, the many companies are already putting in there, and that's why I was saying Wall Street is asking for that. So the P&L and the business plan will reflect this more and more. I mean, I've been working as consultant for companies like Body Shop, Natura, and they already have it in their P&L. They have it. So it's going to be a matter of time. But it's going to be, you know, you're going to be judged by Wall Street about these things.
So maybe one more question, or we can finish if anybody wants to ask. Well, I think it was great, Mr. Susini.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
It was really nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope to see you next year. Yeah.